Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Something to Do with Pete and Will. We promise it's something to do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to It's Something to Do with Pete and Will. We promise it's something to do.
For us, not really for you.
Yeah, we're
you could do, you, the viewer, listener, whatever you are, you could be doing several things at once. So this isn't really anything for you to do. It's mostly just for us to do.
But it's a smash hit, which is weird.
I guess it depends on what is doing the smashing. It's not doing the smashing. It's getting smashed.
Not in the United States.
In the same way that if you were like a pumpkin, when you shot a pumpkin out of a cannon, that pumpkin landing on the ground.
Yeah.
That's how well this is going. It's smashed.
Yeah, no, we're great in Germany. I mean, it's huge. We're in places where they don't subscribe
and don't speak English
or comment
or care.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just getting all these personal emails, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got that going for us.
So don't forget to, all that said, like, subscribe. I guess we could start taking questions. If you have a question, if you're a person who watches this and you want to ask a question about us, our time at E or whatever, leave it in the comments section. And if the question is, what are you doing, or why are you doing this? Well,
we can answer that as well.
Neither of us have a good answer for that.
Well, we've been in entertainment between the two of us for 40 years.
And now we're doing this. Much like everybody else in entertainment, by the way.
Right.
I caught Smartless. No, I was going to say Jason Sudeikis, but that's not right. Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes have a podcast. And then before we started this, I was listening to Dave Chappelle, Yassine Bey, and Talib Kweli are doing a podcast. Like, everybody's doing a podcast.
I'm listening to Fish, but I listen and watch them. I really do enjoy them. And they're probably getting better numbers.
Oh, you
in
think?
The United States.
And also in Germany, and also in places where they don't speak English.
Then Wilmar Fuji.
They're doing much better than us in every metric.
Peter Osterhaus.
Yeah.
I know that I'm carrying the thing, but Will's along for the ride.
I'm just here because I got nothing else to do during nap time.
The thing that we're down for the first thing, Tom Cruise gave back his Golden Globes.
He did. Yeah.
What's going on there?
So the Golden Globes, obviously the Hollywood Foreign Press of the organization that have the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
And there was a big LA Times article that came out this year about the organization, the makeup of the organization, sort of like the demographics. Spoiler alert, they're all white people. And then also how much money they get from NBC, and then the disbursement of that money amongst its members. So like you get kind of a crazy, I wouldn't say a crazy, we get like whatever, $1,500 a quarter. I can't remember. I'm sort of like, this is me just off the top of my head, either a year or a quarter. I can't remember exactly what the measurements were for being like on a committee that nominates the movies. So Time's Up and maybe a few other organizations.
Because I was listening to a conversation and they canceled them this year, right?
NBC is not airing them in 2022. So basically the organization was like, oh, we'll do better. And then one of the heads of the organization wrote an email to the body, and I didn't read it, but I guess the reports were that it was like, I'm going to say racist, vaguely racist to very racist, or at least appearing racist. And people just sort of, at that point, Netflix was like, you know what? We don't need anything to do with the Golden Globes until you guys fix your organization. And then followed a bunch of other organizations, Publicists Guild. They were sort of a big group that were like, look, we're not going to allow you access to our clients. Scarlett Johansson went on the record and said that, while she had been participating in Hollywood Foreign Press events, she'd sort of been subjected to sexist questions that were, it was clear that the people hadn't done any
Oh,
work,
I
hadn't done
saw
any
that. I
research.
watched. Yes,
And
yes,
then they
yes.
were,
Yeah.
and then they
Mhm.
just ask her ridiculous things, which
Yeah.
having sat in some of those things, they do. Like anytime
Yeah.
anybody, online is like, how does the media ask questions like this? It's like, this is a small section of people that are asking questions like that. That aren't using their brains.
How much are Tom Cruise's Golden Globes going for? Like,
Could you buy one right now?
Yeah, because I'd love a Golden Globe.
Well, he didn't put them up. He didn't put them up on eBay.
It's something to do. I think we should get a Golden Globe. I mean, that or a Pulitzer.
At this point, you could make one, and it would be worth more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, it could be the end. Which sort of got me thinking, like, why doesn't another group of people, collect a body of performers, industry professionals, critics, journalists, producers, agents, like just get a small group, get 1,000 or 2,000 people and make your own award show. And then you just supplant the Golden Globes.
I feel like it was
always weird to me that like people gave such a shit about 90 people, whatever their opinion was of that show.
But listen, you and I have covered the Source Awards, GLAAD Awards, Vibe, all those kind of things. Like, I feel like every community is in some way represented. And I think, however, and they're not represented properly.
Right. It's the stage at which the Golden Globes is presented at that makes it seem like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah. And then with that comes the money. Like, none of those other shows are getting however many millions or, hundreds of millions of dollars from NBC and or other advertisers,
Well, so that's a big move for Tom.
Yeah.
What's funny about Tom, it's not funny, but it's an interesting story, is that Bridget ran into somebody from Scientology just randomly, and they got along, and then she kind of realized who this person was, and I'm not going to name names, but and then that person, they exchanged information, and she came home and she Googled this person and realized that, oh gosh, I should probably not go too deep into this friendship.
Was it David Miscavige or Miscavige? I have no idea how you say his last name.
No.
Was it L. Ron Hubbard?
No, but it's somebody. It's somebody that has a lot of photos taken of them, and they're very sweet. And it was a very nice interaction, and very sweet person.
Sure.
But once we realized what was the situation there, we decided let's pump the brakes.
Yeah, let's keep that interaction to where it was instead of deepening it. Yeah. I don't have a really good sense.
By the way, I wanted to see if you wanted to join something, because we ended up not pumping the brakes.
And just for $3,000, you can get your own e-meter and sit at home and learn about whatever.
Yeah, you just have to.
I was going to say photons, but that's not it. That's photons are real.
Just Venmo me, and then we'll start to talk.
Yeah.
I've got a VU meter, or whatever they call them.
E-meter, the e-meter. It's like it's like tin cans with string in between them. At some point somebody was like, yeah, that reads your, I don't even remember. At one point I knew, because I just found it so fascinating.
we did Real Hollywood Stories about Scientology. And so they had Scientologists come in, and former Scientologists come in and describe the intensity of what those interviews were like. And they are intense. I mean, they, they have an amazing legal team, so I will not talk disparagingly about them.
No, fuck it. They're good at like figuring out what your weak spots are and then exploiting it. That's what those interviews are for, right? I don't know. I've never sat in
his name is Wilmar Fuji.
Listen, I've never had Scientology after me, but I'm mistaken. Like, we did a story on Live From E about something, and one of the guys that was on, I can't remember his name now, but he was on Leah Remini's show. He was sort of her counterpart on
Yeah, yeah,
Leah
yeah.
Remini's show. He's got a website, and I had like something. The story was not clearly conveyed to me, and then it was written oddly in the prompt. It was like written oddly, the intro, and I commented on it. It was like a weird, like Jackie said, this is a guy who got out of Scientology, and his whole thing was about trying to tear down Scientology from the outside. And so it was written in the prompter as like, Scientology website, scientologybunker.com or whatever it was. I can't remember. And I read that and then said, that's a weird name for a Scientology website. And then kind of disparaged the website a bit. And so the people that follow him came after me for a couple of days until I was like, oh my God, I'm told, like, I went back and re-looked at re-looked at this segment on the show, and you're absolutely right. I fucked it up, and I'm so sorry, and I apologize to him over Twitter. But yeah, I've had those people come after me for sure, and also BTS members for something else. Not BTS members, the BTS fans.
What's BTS?
The Korean pop group. Their fans came after me for a couple of days as well. Yeah.
Did you dare to say, I don't really get it?
No. We did a story on K-pop groups on E! News years ago.
Sure.
And the story was about, here's several ways in which members of K-pop groups had gotten in trouble. And some of them are quite profound. Some of them was like, this dude was recording women in the bathroom, which is obviously at the peak of, well, not the peak, but close to the peak of shit that you can do that's bad. And so we included in that story this guy. And then here's other members of groups who have also done things that were not great. And two of them were guys in BTS, and one of them wore like, on Japanese TV, like wore a shirt with an A-bomb going, with a picture of an A-bomb exploding. So we're like, this one probably wasn't a great look. And then another one wore a shirt with a swastika on it. And we were like, probably not a great look. And so we just including those in the story was enough.
They did do it. I mean,
they did it. Yeah. But including it was enough for people in the BTS fandom group to be like, why are you bringing this up? These were accidents. They apologized. And then the BTS management got wind of it and then barred us from interviewing them. And so I was just the person who was like, yeah, I read that story that day and, whatever, like that's how it went. And for like 3 days, I was getting just hundreds of emails from people who are calling me a piece of shit for even mentioning these things. But again, I didn't do it. They did it. I was just saying that they did it. And that's what it's like
oh my gosh,
on TV talking about people that, other people really give a shit about.
Well, we've been in so many situations where you're right in the middle of it, and somebody will say or do something, and you're like, oh man, this is not going to go good. This is not well for you.
Yeah.
Now
you have to call. I feel like now in the past,
like if a publicist comes over and touches me, that's not good.
No.
Like, hey,
in the past, like if you were,
I'm not, or if, like, it's funny. I was on a set of a movie, a big Michael Bay movie, and I'll mention his name because it turns out the ending is nice, but the publicist was telling me, go in there and shoot this thing. It was to the entire cast of, I don't know if it was Transformers or I can't remember which movie it was. So I'm going in, I'm shooting this action sequence, and Michael Bay says cut, and it's a huge sequence. They've got guns going off, explosions, all these things. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing in here? I said, I'm capturing the scene. Everybody's standing. So I walk out, and I had said previously, no, they don't want me in there. And she says, no, it's fine. So I came out and I was furious. And I said to the publicist, I was like, I told you I just ruined that take. Now they gotta like reload their guns and shit.
So wait, were you like in the frame of the sequence?
I was in the I would know. I mean I kind of put myself in the corner. You know, if you can see the camera can see you. So I was in a space where the camera couldn't see me.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to get all this stuff out of the entire cast of this movie and wants zero distractions. And I'm in the corner, you know.
Yeah.
But what was nice was afterwards he came out and he kind of lambasted me in front of everybody. And he said, I'm sorry about that. I said it was just a big, and so it was all good. I said, no problem. I get it. But I came out and I told the publicist, I said, I told you I didn't want to go in there. I just got embarrassed in front of the entire cast of this movie. And it was like Vin Diesel and whoever else, Josh Duhamel, everybody.
Oh my God, that's funny. I can imagine in some circumstances when, in a sequence like that, where, having an ENG camera guy, ENG, electronic news gathering, it's just sort of like in the area.
We're
it's
EFP,
like
field production.
Oh, whatever. You could get,
and I'm a DP.
Or EFP, and you could get like, you could get clobbered by a piece of fucking shrapnel or something, or like a brick that, they're like, this is a blast zone and this is our cone of safety. And if you're in any of these areas, you might get pegged by something, where some guy from some, fucking entertainment news show is just like, oh, this is a good angle. And then thunk, a fucking rock hits him in the head. And now the whole production's got to shut down.
The same thing happened at Scrubs, because when Daily 10 was on and E was on together,
mm-hmm.
they would send two producers, but one crew. And so it was incumbent upon me to get different content for each one of those shows. And so one producer would say, hey, go in and get this. One person would say, go in and get this. But the show doesn't give a shit that there's two shows there. They're like, This is your moment to go get something and you guys figure it out. So they sent me in to some scene at Scrubs, and the same thing. I was like, what are you doing here? And it was the entire cast of Scrubs. I was like, you know what? This might be my last day. They had a guy, one of the guys that we used to work with, he was waiting for Britney Spears at the Forum, and she was so late, and he was an older guy, and he said, you know what? Fuck this, and just walked away. Left everything. Just left.
Yeah.
And he opened up a tire store, and he's doing great.
Yeah.
He was like, that's it. I'm spending all this time waiting for Britney Spears, and in that realm, yes, it's an important thing. And if you value that stuff, it's important.
Right.
However, for him, it was like, that's it.
In the larger scheme of things, you spent a lot of your life just fucking waiting for somebody.
That's all I did. My partner and I always talked about, like, in the early days, because Will and I have been there for a very, very long time. We didn't have cell phones, at least certainly not cell phones that were smart. And so, what did we do? We would just sit there.
Yeah.
And I said, do we talk? Or do we just like stare into the abyss?
I know.
Because we were there for so many years without. I
guess I'm just playing Snake on my Nokia cell phone again.
Which we were at 2.5 Men, and they were so adamant that your phones are off. Don't, just make sure your phones are off, all that stuff. And so he and I are sitting, on the stage, and they're shooting a scene, and his phone goes off. And I don't know if I've told this story before, but his phone goes off and just rings loud. And you hear, cut. And I walked away. I was like, oh man, you're on your own on this one.
Oh shit. When I had just started with E! News, and I went to the set of Criminal Minds, and I'm interviewing the cast, we're doing a set visit, and they go to shoot something, and I'm sitting on an Apple box, and it's dead silent. And I stand up and the apple box falls over and claps on the ground and it ruins the take. And the director's like, what the fuck? And Thomas Gibson, who I think his name was Thomas Gibson. I think he was a star at the time, was like, oh, don't worry, that was my fault. And totally saved me from getting chewed out by whoever worked on, Criminal Minds that was going to come and.
See, those are sweethearts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And especially, it's like I was 25, probably looked like I was 19. He probably was like, oh, this fucking poor kid is going to get reamed out by some Teamster in 10 seconds. He's like, I'll just take it. He took it for me.
What's funny is I think we've talked about the after hour clubs and stuff like that. But one time I went to a set and there was a celebrity there that I had been to an after hours club with. And we had shared much of our lives with each other in that moment where we were just talking, and he's a big star. So I ended up at the set of his show, and he had come out and he was having a cigarette. And at that point I was trying to get a satellite truck to work, which I was with Dave Adelson at that time. And wherever I was sending the signal, it wasn't being caught, but I've done everything. It's just it's exhausting to even think about. But anyway, so he comes out and I said, hey, it's Peter. He's like, yeah, I know, don't say anything. It's like, no, I'm not. It wasn't. It's just you and I.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna out you.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, not out you. It wasn't a...
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Not out, just out, regular out, not.
Yeah. No, you're not. Yeah.
Oh, the good old days.
Oh man, there's so many stories. Goodness gracious.
Oh, the good old days. How was your week?
Well, there's no segues in the show. I just want everybody to know that. So we're just going to change the subject.
What? To what?
To anything.
Oh,
it was fine. I got the second vaccine, and it's fine. And I think they tell you to say it's fine so that everybody gets it, but it kind of kicked my butt.
Yeah, that's common. Yeah. I definitely have known a lot of people who got the second dose and were leveled by it for 2 days or 3 days or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Bridget had no issues, and I waited to get the second one so that because of the kids, we didn't want to have issues.
Sure. Both of you sick at the same time, right?
So went and got it, and I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's not that big a deal. You just kind of feel a little lethargic, and
sure, yeah.
You can tell that the computers are working in your eyes and watching what you're watching. But it's good. I got my card.
You can feel the gears grinding a little bit. Wait.
Now I can go to the country club without a mask.
Yeah, there you go. I know. Look at that. No masks now if you've been fully vaccinated. Which
just pissed off everybody that's listening.
Fucking exciting. That is fucking exciting. I can't wait. I mean, not that I mind a mask. I definitely don't. And now, I've been fully vaccinated for a few weeks now, but I still bring it with me and wear it if my daughter is with me, because that way, I want it to be normal for her. And so
because our girls still have to wear it.
Then I'll wear it too. If because I don't know, she's going to be going to school in August, and who knows what the situation will be. So I don't want her to I don't want it to be a problem later on. So it's kind of okay, well, if we go to the playground, if it's just a couple of us there, then you don't have to worry about it. But if a bunch of other kids show up, then we probably do have to worry about it. So I'll put mine on, you put yours on, and then that way you're not the only one not wearing it. So that's the only really, but that's it.
Yeah, the girls have to wear it.
Or if we go to whatever, to Glendale, the street down the, with the shops and shit.
Tell me your address.
I
want your exact address.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I have deleted all of the photos of the front of my house off of Instagram.
Why? Because there's people flooding over there, like our sponsors.
No, but every now and then there's like a person who gets a little too familiar, and it's like, it's probably not a great idea. It's just probably not a great idea. It's probably not a great idea for anybody. It's like, and it's not like I'm clearly not so super well known that just anybody will know me walking down the street. But anybody could have a person who gets unhealthily attached to them, because of social media or whatever. So just the idea of, having your,
being able to
frank,
access them
exactly easily, on social media is just not a great idea in general.
Well, that's what happened to me a lot because my social media is blowing up. But again, it's not in a place where they count your followers. So it looks like I don't have any followers when in actuality, it's insane.
It's quite the opposite. It's just that they don't follow, they just creep.
It's from communist countries and they don't allow them to really do stuff. So they've got to go through the black web or whatever they call it.
Yeah. I got a lot of dissidents following me who aren't allowed to be on the internet in China and, so on and so forth. Not a big deal.
Wow, that guy's got a lot of cool stuff to say.
Yeah. He's spending his time well.
Yeah. Let's see if I've got any of those. Cool
what's on your notepad this week?
Let's see. We've kind of gone through it. This might be a short one. Michael Day. Oh, but the girls were in a commercial.
Oh, no way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's a woman down the street doesn't know, but she designs toys for this company, and she needed models. Mm-hmm. And she kind of hit me up about it earlier to have them come down and do it. And so she said, would they be willing to do a video and photo shoot on whatever day? And I was a little trepidatious at first, but Bridget was in commercials when she was a kid, and her brother paid for Notre Dame through his commercials because he was in commercials for all these major companies, like Battleship, the game Battleship and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was in those commercials. And then
it would be funnier if it was for actual battleships.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a kid who was like, oh, this is the DC-10 destroyer.
This thing will annihilate you.
And why is a kid the spokesperson for this?
Her other brother was also, he was in movies and he was on like Fantasy Island, but he was a little bit bigger kid. Mm-hmm. So his name was always like Sandwich or something like that.
Hoagie.
Yeah. So anyway, so Bridget was in it. And I said, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's for their catalog and their commercials. And then I went down there and it was a woman just doing photographs and she didn't have any lighting equipment. And I said, I'll be right back. And I came and I just lit the whole thing. Oh,
nice.
Yeah. I lit everything and
did everything. You.
And she's like, I was kind of hoping you'd do that.
So she's paying her daughters, but she really wanted to be paying you.
Right.
At gear rental. And
so
she got the package deal. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's not a bad package deal.
No, and they're adorable, and so everybody wins. And
Did they have fun doing it?
Oh yeah, a lot of fun. And they got all the one of a kind toys that haven't been released yet.
There you go. That's worth it right there.
They got all the toys, to take home, and it's like ponies that you braid their hair, and a unicorn that they braid your hair, and all that kind of stuff. So cool. They like doing that stuff.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. Nothing funny about it really, but
that's cool. I don't know. That's very fun. I've never been in a commercial.
Yes, you have. I've shot you in commercials.
Oh, well, no, but those were like through E. That was like,
that's a commercial. We're doing marketing. You're getting tased.
That's true. Well, that was different. That's
still
true.
A commercial.
I was always not asked back to do the gift guides because I couldn't take anything seriously. Because I was always like, I'm going to take my clothes off. They're like, this is for Amazon. You can't be taking your clothes off. I don't know. It's going to be funny. I'm just going to wear an apron and nothing else. And they're like, we're at work. You can't do that. I was Fine.
Those are the toughest ones where like Amazon, and because the Amazon and Disney people and everything that we did with those groups,
Yes.
you were, I mean, I was surrounded by 25 people.
Oh
that
yeah,
are
it's
just
crazy.
meticulously.
The alcohol ones where they're like, you make the drink, but you're not allowed to take a sip of it. Like, all right, well, but have fun with it. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
What? Have fun with it, but don't drink any of it. I don't understand what we're doing here. What's fun about pouring? About
Well, what? Why was
you
that?
miss and then, huh?
Why was that? Is that like a
You're not allowed. Yeah, you're not. You are not allowed to, for whatever reason.
because we brought this up on another episode. Like there was drinking on episodes constantly.
Not on news. The alcohol companies don't want you drinking in like a commercial.
Oh, I see.
You're never like,
Yeah,
you don't see people being like, they're like, it's right to their mouths, but you never see people being like, yeah, Bud Light, and like chugging a Bud Light. It's always just like implied. The drinking is implied.
we're just having fun.
Exactly. So it would be the same thing if you were getting paid to do. I don't even think we got paid for these things. Whatever. Absolute Citron wants to do like an in segment story on E News. You like, here's the cocktail. You got to find a conversational way.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I would shoot with you because it's the stuff in the corner in the bar.
But you can't drink it. But because it's a commercial, they don't want you to drink the actual product. And then plus, like, the ice isn't real. The ice isn't fucking real. The ice is
that's
plastic.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So it's disgusting. And you're dumping it out, and then whatever. So yeah, those.
I miss those guys. Our art department guys.
Oh yeah, no, they were awesome.
I actually text them every once in a while just to touch base,
say hi.
Yeah,
that's sweet of you.
It's
you're
tough.
A social guy. You're very social.
Well, I was there for a long time, and I know all of them. So I I reach out to Jason and you, and I reached out to Juliana after she made her statement.
Yeah,
I think a response.
No, of course not.
I'm just kidding. Juliana, I love you.
I
always have. Listen.
I started with her when she started. This.
I started with her when she started. All right, no, I was there when she started.
Yeah, she's busy. She's gotten. She doesn't have an hour to waste on you and me doing this thing.
Yeah, but she's so sweet over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reach out to. Yeah, I care. I care about people. I care about you.
I care about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you care about me?
Huh?
What do you care?
Just that you're here in front of me right now, and I feel compelled to say it.
You exist, and so
it's that you're in front of me right now, and then
I don't want you to die in this moment. Otherwise, this would be useless.
No. That would be great.
Or we'll go through the roof.
Yeah, it would be quite good. It would be quite good. Yeah, that's funny. I was segue into nothing. I was I went to go get my car washed for the first time yesterday in well over a year. And
oh really?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
And well, we haven't been driving anywhere.
Was it just caked on?
Oh God, caked on. Spider webs all over the fucking place. It was disgusting. Anyway, I drove down the street, and just a block from my house, there was a woman in a Mini Cooper pulled over in the red section of the intersection, eating food with chopsticks. And I was like, kind of eating. I saw her take a bite and just rest her head on the headrest and start to chew as I drove by. And I was like, what's going on there?
She wanted to get out of the house.
She had to get out so bad, and then couldn't even find like a regular parking space. Had to park in the red of an intersection. She's like, I can't wait any longer.
She was like, I've got a gun. And I've got chopsticks. I'm going to use the chopsticks to eat. And
I'm going to the grocery store. I'm getting grocery store sushi, and I'm going to eat right here before I get back to my house. I'm going to spend 45 minutes. And when my family asks, where were you? I'm going to come up with an inane story about how something happened in a huge line at the grocery store. And I had to, but in reality, I've just been sitting in my car for an hour, enjoying the silence.
Yeah, I took my car in to get fixed. And the guy said, this is your 30,000 mile like warranty. What do they call it? The like,
Checkup. I don't know.
whatever.
I don't know what you call it when it's for a car and not a person.
Yeah. So whatever it is. And he said, you're at 16,000 miles. He said, you've driven 500 miles this year. He's like, you win. I've never seen that. I was like, well, what have we been doing?
Yeah.
I said, not only that, I only live 5 miles from where I worked. So it still wasn't going to, but fine. And then I get it back and the air conditioning doesn't work. And I was like, you son of a bitch, you fucked up my air conditioner. So then I sent it back. But because I don't want to brag, but I'm a Premier customer, and so they give you a car and everything's for free, and they fixed it. But it's a pain in the ass to have to go do it.
Oh yeah, and then to realize you got to bring it back. That's annoying. But
I had just gotten the shot, and so I said, "Hey, Bridget, would you mind taking it over there? I gotta." So Bridget took it over there.
You're just milking it. You're milking this vaccine thing. You're milking it
for all it's worth.
You're milking it.
Yeah.
And then this is gonna, I mean, I feel like this is gonna sound like a bad take on like 80s stand-up comedy, but when I went to go get my car, when I did go to get my car washed after I saw that lady, it was one of the ones where you drive through it.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's the
blowers.
The blowers and the towels on a loop. And those things don't do shit.
No.
How have we not come up with something better than that?
Well, and you have to take the entire time, and the person behind you is always pissed when you take the entire time. So if it's like a minute and a half,
well, the car is going to
go a minute and a half.
The car, it's on a track, right? So the car is coming up right behind me. That's the kind of was. It
so
was
now
like,
they're blowing more water on the back of your car as your front of your car is getting dried.
I had to get out and like find something like an old t-shirt in the back of my trunk to be like, now I'm going to dry this thing. Even though I kind of really didn't care. Cause like, whatever, fuck it, man.
You don't have the dots on it.
Yeah. But I was like, what the fuck? This thing is soaking wet. What the fuck? I will say though, so that's a knock on this particular car wash, but on the plus side, the vacuum was insane. I got out once I was there. I was like, I guess I'm doing the whole thing now. Vacuum the inside of my car out.
Oh, you vacuumed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
this place doesn't have the place that's like the guys come and they don't. Yeah, it was just like you drive through. So the vacuum was strong as shit. I felt like I should have brought rugs there because it was so like way more powerful than my regular vacuum that I use in my house.
Of course,
it was.
It wasn't a Dyson.
It was not. No.
Oh, Dysons are great.
Dysons are fine.
They're a sponsor. We'll get to the sponsors.
But whatever, the vacuum cleaner at the fucking car wash is stronger than a Dyson.
Yeah.
We brought my daughter to Underwood Farms, which is a farm out in Moore Park, California.
Oh yeah, I actually have that in here because I was going to buy a chicken over there.
You just want to buy a chicken?
Well, no, at the end of the season, they if you put your name on a list, you can get chickens.
A live chicken or a butchered chicken?
No, a live one. So you can have like a pen and get eggs and things like that. They didn't call me.
Oh, maybe they ran out.
That or, I was drunk and I wrote the wrong number.
Oh. I wouldn't want a chicken coop. I would not want a chicken coop on my Los Angeles property.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think it sounds nice in theory, and then
some
in
of the
practice,
guys
like what the fuck? This is a horrible idea. For one egg every 3 days, this is terrible.
I think it's fantastic. But Eric, the audio guy in the studio, had been there. Yeah, well, he has been there for 35 years or whatever. He's got a bunch, and they produce like an egg a day. So, I mean, you're getting. I don't know if you can eat them as fast as they produce them.
I eat a lot of eggs.
I do too.
And I would still be at a deficit if I bought one chicken and got an egg.
Not one. You need to have like 4.
Yeah. But then you got to clean out their coop. You got to be dealing with chicken shit all the time.
Not only that, but I've got a little dog that would be trying very hard to eat them.
Yeah. So problems all the way around. Problems all the way around. Yeah.
That's why I was going to get a turtle. So you just have a turtle walking around in the yard, and in theory, that sounds wonderful. You just have a turtle kind of meandering.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but they get salmonella. We've got a lot of stuff that goes on with turtles, so we didn't get a turtle. We got a little dog.
Yes. And no weird animals. I don't have we went to the petting zoo at this place.
We got a fish.
And they've got goats and sheep and a bunny. And I just don't like touching those things. I don't trust them.
I love that place though.
I just don't trust. I love the place. I don't trust petting animals because I'm like, they're so docile, but I feel like I'm going to be the one that they bite. And for whatever reason, that's like one looks at me and I'm like, you better stay the fuck away, bro.
You've got a lot of psychology going on over there.
I do. I just don't trust. I don't trust them.
Just goat eyes.
Goat eyes are just these dead eyes that are just horrifyingly like, no thanks, man. One, I had the plastic bags because if you've never been to this place,
well, you put a quarter in there and you can just feed them through the tunnel or the tube.
No, now it's different. Well, I don't know. Maybe we did not do that. But you go and you can go to this place and you can pick vegetables and strawberries and all kinds of shit. So then they have bags and little plastic bins for you to take to put all your food in as you're picking it. And so I had some plastic bags sticking out of my back pocket when we went to the petting zoo, and one of the goats like brushed up against the bag or took a bite of the bag. Well, I don't know what it was because I wasn't, I was facing the other direction, and I jumped up like it was trying to attack me.
Punch it in the face.
And then, long story short, there's no faster way to get thrown out of than by punching a baby goat.
He's now on somebody's table.
It got me first.
Do people eat goat?
Oh God, I think so. Yeah,
they do. What is that?
I'm sure. I don't know.
Goat?
I'm sure. Yeah, I think there's a part of the world where people eat everything.
Deer's venison.
I've never had goat, but yeah, you just call it goat. It's like you ate goat. So yeah, that was my experience at the
How are you scared of goats?
Was having this. I just don't like it. And I don't like the little animals that you can pick up because I can feel all of their tiny bones. And I don't like that.
Well,
I don't know what it's called.
Just
I'm not
gentle.
going to. Listen, I'm not Lenny of Mice and Men. I'm not going to like snap a bunny because I don't understand how strong I am or how frail they are. But I just don't like touching it. It's the same thing with cats. I really don't like. I just don't really like it.
Not a cat person.
I need an animal with some meat on it so that I can't feel the bones through its skin.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, cats. I've been attacked by too many cats. My friend had me take care of his cats when he went out of town once, and I went in and I heard. I was like, "What is that?" And the closer I got to where I had to go put the food or change out their thing, I was like, and it sounded like a baby dying. It's like the neighbors are going to think there's something really wrong.
I think you're killing the cat.
I'm like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Then I killed the cat. No, but that cat one day, cats are interesting. So I was at his house and he kept his beers and things in the fridge. And so in the garage,
weird.
In the garage.
Oh.
And so I went into the garage, and that's where the cats lived.
Uh-huh.
And they could come and go, but that's where they hung out. So I go and get a beer, and I'm trying to be nice to the cat. The cat's like, like, what is that sound coming out of this thing? And as I turned, it swung its claw and totally opened up my calf. I still have scars from it.
Oh my God.
And I came out and I was like, dude, if I just got feline AIDS from your cat, I'm going to be pissed. So then he went in there, and I don't know what he did to the cat, but he was pissed because he didn't like the cats very much either.
Yeah. Oh God, no. I'm just not. I like dogs.
I love dogs,
and I'll say
I'm allergic to them.
I like
thus the blowing of the nose.
I like cat videos online. Like if I'm watching videos with my daughter, and a cat video comes up, I like cats do funny shit in videos.
Yeah.
but in real life, they make me very uncomfortable. And
Well, yeah, because they don't. Like my dog follows me around the house all the time. Oh, if my door was open right now, it'd be sitting staring at me.
yeah.
And then when I walk out, it follows me out. When I walk into my office, it follows me in the office. When I walk anywhere in the house, it follows me. And it kind of upsets the girls because they're like, why doesn't she follow us? I'm like, I don't know. I'm cooler. I'm just a better person.
That's what I was gonna say. Be cooler.
Yeah, just be
She'll like
better.
you more.
If you're better, she'll follow you. But she just, no matter where I am. And it's funny because now that we spent so much time in the house together, Bridget will be on her computer or whatever. And I'll walk through the living room and you just hear following me. Then I'll walk back. And now I'm just messing with her, just having her follow me back and forth. And I'm allergic to her. I think she knows it. I think she's torturing me.
She's fucking with you.
Yeah.
She doesn't hang out with your daughters because she knows that they're not allergic. And it's not any fun. Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute now. Look at you. Learning how to use your microphone. God, you're a fucking professional now.
Well, every week you'll see that we get a lot more professional.
Incrementally.
It's not reflective.
Not bad, not necessarily better at this. We at least learn how to do this.
It's not reflective in content or viewership.
No, but I can use the microphone mute button when I'm blowing my nose, so that
we
you don't hear it.
We have all the stuff. It was funny because the doctor, I got the second dose, and the doctor said, "Do you have anything, wrong? Are you allergic to anything?" I was like, "No, I'm fine. Like, just give it to me." Then I got home, and I was like, "Oh God, so many things wrong."
So, dude, if you had been like, "I'm really allergic to dogs," he could have been like, "Ugh, well, it's not going to go great for you then. Sorry."
I bleed every day. Let's see. I made a list. My cholesterol's through the roof. I have a dead toe. I have weird random bruises, rapid weight gain and loss, and an annoying co-host. She's like, what does that have to do with it?
What does that have to do with getting a shot? He's like, I don't know. I just got to tell somebody.
It gives me palpitations.
He makes me anxious. I fucking hate him, but I'm stuck with him now.
I not only do not hate you, I love you.
I know. I went to a chiropractor today for the first time in well over a year.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we hadn't seen you in a year. We haven't seen you in a year. You're gonna have to fill out new forms when you get here." And it seems, this all, in kind of in line with your mechanic or the guy who took care of your car. The thing, like, "Oh, we haven't seen you in a year." Yeah, no shit. Kind of a lot of that going around, right? Are we really that surprised by this still? Anyway, so he had, all that to say, he had, gone from like a regular chiropractic practice to some sort of like,
and then became a real doctor.
I don't know. Well, now there's like a doctor. Now there's like an MD there.
Chiropractics
but
are wonderful.
He did it so that he could inject people with stem cells. And I've read a little bit about stem cells. And so I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And he goes, yeah, there's this doctor in wherever, I don't know what the fuck, where he said, he's like, he's on that podcast with the comedian who does the UFC. And I was like, Joe Rogan? He's like, yeah, he's on Joe. And I was like, ugh. The last thing that I want is for my fucking doctor to be like, hey, do you listen to Joe Rogan?
Well, Joe, listen, given what Joe's accomplished, he actually does have a lot of doctors on there that kind of know what they're talking about. And if they offer me a stem cell, I'd take that quicker than the vaccine, to be honest with you. I just don't want. I want a little bit of this back, right?
Well, apparently stem cells can do some of that. But yeah, fuck, man. I want my doctor to be like, no, I'm a doctor. I don't I don't get my advice from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly.
I learned about it from a medical journal, not fucking Joe Rogan,
Well, I listened to Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew is really comprehensive. Like he breaks everything down, and I've listened to him the entire pandemic because he got it, but he also the
downplayed it at the beginning. He was like, "Oh, it's not really a big deal."
Well, he didn't know.
He got it.
But he was part of the AIDS pandemic, the first SARS pandemic. He got
what?
SARS.
He gave people AIDS and SARS?
No, he's part of he worked with Fauci to get the vaccines to them, out to people. And so he worked through all those, but he got SARS and he got COVID. And he kind of walked everybody through what to expect when you get it, because he got it pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so I listened to him, and then as the research was coming out, he apologized for not.
I will say at least he was like, I was wrong, which a lot of people are unable to do.
Right. You're talking about my wife. Anyway, so he gave you a list of vitamins and things like zinc and D3 and quercetin and all those things, and I bought all those things. So I've been taking those within those 16 vitamins that I take, and I mean, I think things could have been worse for me had I not been taking those.
You didn't get the virus though. You just got the vaccine.
But they said that the people that did get the virus, they were very deficient in vitamin D.
Oh.
And zinc and things like that. And so in order to kind of combat it, because I don't know if if very early on I got it or not, but I was tested for everything. So
well, I'm glad that you're taking all those things.
Yeah, it's exhausting, as is the second dose.
Well, it's good. I mean, for whatever, the vaccine is great and really really efficient. I'm glad that it's being tested on kids, and it seems to be really efficient on kids as well, like the 12 to 15 age, like 100% effective. That's fucking incredible. Yeah. But yeah, and there's some people have been talking about this over the course of the pandemic, but yes, a giant health crisis in the country should lead people to take better care of themselves in whatever way, shape, or form they're able to.
Yes.
And if that for you is taking a bunch of pills, then
yeah, I mean, it's also a bunch of oxycodones, and I take a handful of Xanax. I just crush them up, and I put all the dust in my mouth.
I just throw it right into my eye.
Yeah, that seems to be working. And then I'm microdosing acid and DMT, and I took ketamine and trying to get Bridget on Molly.
Just trying to get healthy, Yeah. Trying to get so healthy. I'm the healthiest person. I'm healthier than God.
That's why I write so much.
Do I hear about my screenplay?
Guess what it's about? It's about a dead toe.
And that was an impression of every dude living with 4 other dudes in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, I got stories. Those are for another day.
Oh, God.
Well, that was a great episode. We are wonderful. Our sponsors will put up on the
there with
bottom
their banner and
just click and subscribe.
Use a code.
And again, if this is what we're going for, we nailed it. Talk to you soon, brother.
Later, dude.